So welcome back to our series of videos on stretching and stretching the thorax. And in this exercise, we're going to talk about stretching and mobilising the spine and the ribs and the muscles that sit between the ribs, particularly in the middle part of our chest here. So again, this is an exercise you need to do sitting. And we're going to use the chair, in this case, a dining room chair, something like that, as a prop to help us enhance the stretch as much as possible. So it's also going to involve rotation, turning the body to the left and to the right to create twist in the spine. Now, if you've got back pain, low back pain, you need to be mindful of this and make sure your low back is well supported with a cushion or a chair that has a lot of back support for you so you can prevent that from getting stretched too far. And again, use your judgment. Every stretch that you do should feel a little bit uncomfortable. Otherwise, it's not really stretching, but it should never be painful. You should never feel a pain that makes you want to stop. You should feel a good stretch and it should feel uncomfortable a little bit, but use your common sense and make sure you don't stretch into pain because that can sometimes be harmful. So this is a sitting rotation stretch and Teresa's going to show you the position you need to get into. So I'm just going to ask you to adopt that position. And what she's doing here is she's turning her body to the right. She's using her right hand in this instance to press against the back of the chair to help support the shoulder and maintain that twist. And her opposite hand is reaching and pressing onto the outside of her knee to increase the stretch through the side of the leg and into the hip. And in this instance, we're going to stretch on the out breath. So she's going to breathe in, contract the muscles, and as she breathes out, she's going to try and turn herself further out using a little bit of the arm. Again. Again. And on each stretch, she's turning that little bit further. So this is a little bit what we might call a muscle energy or a facilitation technique where we're engaging the muscles actively on stretch, and then as they relax, we stretch them a little bit further. In fact, all of these techniques are using this type of approach. And this is Luna who's come to say hello as well. So this is a stretch that's a very powerful thoracic stretch, and you should find that it really makes you feel more flexible and mobile through your middle back as well as through the rib cage. And again, repeat that 5 times and do both sides. So Teresa's now doing the opposite side. And you can see that she's also turning her head in the direction of the stretch, and that too helps enhance the power of that stretch right through the spine all the way up into the neck. But remember, if you feel soreness or pain in the neck or low back, just manage the extent of the stretch that you do so that you don't cause yourself discomfort or don't just cause yourself pain. And that's exercise number 3. Okay, so number 4 is the leaning over the side of the chair. So you're going to turn that chair through 90 degrees. So you're facing towards the camera. Okay, this is the last, I shouldn't just keep saying okay. So welcome back, and this is the last stretching exercise in this short series of stretching for the thorax and rib cage. And in this exercise, again, we're going to use the chair as a prop. So you need to have a dining room chair that's comfortable that you can reach over. So some very high back dining room chairs don't work for this. You can also use armchairs if they've got a high enough arm. This is a chair that we're using. You can see the height of the arm for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to lean over the back of the chair. So make sure you've got a cushion or that the chair is well padded, because we're going to rest our arm over the side of the chair. So this arm is relaxed. And we're going to be stretching into the right-hand side. So this side of Teresa's body is going to be stretching open. So again, there's 2 ways you can do this. Again, if you've got a problem or a restriction with your shoulder, you might not want to lift your arm away from your side. So you can start off by placing the arm across your body with your elbow resting against your chest. And the stretch is going to be a tipping to this side. So we're stretching out the ribs here. And again, in that position, deep breath in. And if you can, as you breathe out, just let yourself slump. And breathe in, and come back up a little bit. And then breathe out. And that stretching really opens up the rib cage, okay? So very straightforward. So just sit yourself back up, Teresa. The second variance is to try and increase the power of the stretch. Again, it's using the arm. And this time I'm going to ask Teresa to place her right hand behind the back of her head or back of her neck. And what this is doing is it's engaging the pectoral muscles that we've stretched already, using the back of the chair as a pivot point, a point to rest on. And again, we're going to adopt that stretched position. And by using the arm like this, we're really getting the shoulder blade muscles to help support and increase that stretch. So the same principle, breathing in and on the out breath, stretching. So that's the second version of that stretch. Thank you, Teresa. And the last version for people who perhaps are quite, are relatively quite flexible, or they want a slightly stronger stretch, we're going to use the arm as a much more powerful lever. So in this instance, we're going to have the arm really extended up above the head, and Teresa's going to demonstrate that for you again. So again, it's on the out breath that Teresa is leaning, and the arm is a much heavier thing above your head, and it increases the leverage and stretch through the side of the body and through the side of the shoulder here. Now, this isn't for everyone, particularly people who might have pain or dysfunction in their shoulder that might give them shoulder pain. So be cautious with this one. If you're uncertain, if you're worried about shoulder pain, then don't use it. Use the other two, they're both effective. This just gives you a bit more power, a bit more leverage. Okay, and those are three straightforward stretches for the side of the rib cage using the arm and shoulder as a means of enhancing the stretch.